First of all, thank you for joining tonight. My name is Alex DiPietro. I am a principal at Exit 10 LLC. I will be going over a few subjects required by the Cannabis Commission, as well as addressing some pertinent information that's relevant to retail cannabis and this specific retail cannabis location, and some information that participants might find interesting and may have questions on in regards to this specific site. If you have questions, I believe there's a chat function if you want to start there. Obviously, the end will allow for some question and answers. I will be going over pretty high level. If there's questions in regards to some of the more specific details, happy to answer those. I will run through this and then I will field questions kind of as they come. So the agenda is really based off of a lot of the details that I've gone over with the EDC as well as the town of Norton in regards to my host agreement that was awarded about a year ago now. It is a retail marijuana location, and I believe I put up, I didn't put it up there, but I'll go over the address. This is on Old Colony Road. Just getting people joining. I'll discuss how the location will be secured, the steps by our establishment to prevent diversion to minors, a plan for us to impact the community, obviously as it pertains to the obligations of the host agreement and also the obligations of myself as a business owner with the town of Norton. Obviously, we'll display how we will not create any sort of nuisance, although even in as of recent, a lot of these locations have proven to be more of a quiet retail business as opposed to the nuisance that some people might be aware of when they first started to roll out. But this is an overlay of the parcel of land. It's currently operating as a strip plaza. This will give you an idea of some of the alterations to the property that will be taking place as part of this redevelopment. Sorry. This is the proposed location of the retail dispensary. Again, it's 407 to 411, which includes a few of those properties that you saw from the bird's eye view. This specific site currently has a few different retail locations in it. It is, sorry, just people joining. Approximately 3.5 miles from the police and the fire. We have met with both fire and police, and they both are excited about the opportunity for redevelopment. We've kind of gone back and forth with our share of concerns in regards to some of the hurdles that we can kind of tackle together as we redevelop the site. But I think overall, if you're familiar with this part of Norton, the idea of bringing it a little bit more back to life is something that we're excited about and that we find appealing about the opportunity. Security, obviously a big concern as it pertains to something that is reserved for adults and 21 over. We did put through a pretty extensive security plan as part of our application for the host agreement, and I think that is why part of the reason that we were a logical choice for some of this. You know, the crux of it is that we are looking to emulate a lot of the success that other retail locations have had as it pertains to security. None of this is too out of the box thinking at this point. We kind of looked at the successes of other retail establishments, focused on what works, kind of mirrored that with what the expectations of the police are in the town of Norton and Chief Clark. And we feel like we've come to a place where everyone feels really comfortable that, you know, there's going to be a robust system that mirrored with some continuous training of our employees and our people really lends itself to keeping it a secure facility, not only as in regards to security of the building itself, but as you can see, as we talk about diversion to minors with packaging, training, multiple ID checks, maintaining safe room lock and key. and kind of mirroring and monitoring a lot of this stuff 24/7 with access to remote watching through companies like NetWatch, where the police would be able to actually log in and have 24/7 access to the location should anything outside of the normal take place. Oops, sorry, close that. So as it pertains to diversion to minors, again, not trying to recreate the wheel. We're taking a lot of the learnings that the industry has today and that other retail dispensaries have been really successful with. That's multiple ID checks. That's signage, obviously, very similar to what liquor stores do. Multiple ID checks, constant training, child-proof packaging. Again, the CCC takes care of a lot of the packaging and warning statements in regards to the product itself, and they have a set of rules that all the dispensaries have to live and die by. We're not actually creating the product, which is a benefit to us. We'll be just reselling it. We'll be buying a lot of the products wholesale. So a lot of that packaging, that testing, that constant oversight from the CCC will be taking place at the wholesaler itself. So we'll obviously maintain good wholesale relationships, and we'll maintain good practices. So I think that a lot of the checks and double checks will lend itself to obviously preventing any issues with minors. Obviously, there's a system in place when there would be an issue pertaining to minors or entrance from a minor or any sort of ID issues with getting the police involved and things like that. But again, like I said, we're not trying to recreate the wheel. We're trying to take a lot of the learnings we've seen with other retail dispensaries that are successful, not only in the state, but in other states, and continue to kind of operate in those same ways. Community impact. So as part of our host agreement, there's obviously a 3% annual contribution from our sales, which, typically a lot of that money is provisioned towards a lot of the services provided to the town, fire, police, the school system, things like that. There'll obviously be some education as part of this and learning on how we operate as a business. We'll be supporting, local charities as part of our host agreement. The big thing for us is just being a good corporate citizen. We currently operate other businesses, retail businesses, not cannabis related, in surrounding towns. And I think one thing that we take pride in is just being a great corporate citizen to the town, working with police, working with fire, working with schools, working with local charities, working with sports teams and the kids' soccer teams and things like that, and just being able to contribute and give back what we get from the town itself. And that's just our positive impact as far as donations, things like that, but really just trying to maintain just a great business, right? And bringing the building back to life, bringing that area back to life, investing in the town, things like that. And like I said, bringing the buildings back. If you've driven down Old Colony, there's a lot of great businesses there. They're beautiful. I think that as part of this, we'd love to bring these couple buildings back to life. We really want to improve it. We think it stands to be a beautiful site that could, really be more of an attractive, appealing curb appeal to the area. It's a very busy road. There's obviously local businesses. It's across the street from Dunkin' Donuts and a nice barbershop. There's a nice car wash and things like that. And we really feel like if we can bring this up to standard, not only for the cannabis perspective, but the property itself, it just make it an attractive place to be, an attractive place to visit. That's kind of all. Again, I went, I hope I didn't go too fast. It's pretty high level. I really wanted to lend it to open to questions, things like that. Make sure that everyone felt comfortable with the location and that, understanding that we're, again, trying to come in here and just be a good corporate citizen, operating, again, a cannabis retail dispensary, but understanding also that these are very prevalent now. They're not as much as a traffic or business risk as people might have imagined a few years ago, and that they're, for the most part, pretty quiet most of the day and operate very similar to any sort of retail location. But if you have any questions, you want to jump on the chat, I can obviously unmute people and things like that if there are any questions, but feel free to fire away.
Can anyone hear me?
I can hear you.
Alice, good evening. My name is Joel Shapiro.
Hey, Joe.
I own the car wash across the street.
Awesome.
And I missed the beginning of the meeting, but I just have a few questions if you could help me out.
By all means.
So are you looking to tear down the buildings to put up something new, or are you looking to renovate?
For the most part, it'd be a lot of renovation. There'd be some cutting and maneuvering with a couple of the pieces on the lot in regards to creating better flow of traffic, ingress, egress, and a little bit of a better parking situation in the back. But for the most part, it's a rehab situation, and I can jump back to kind of if you can see it. I don't know if you're on your phone.
Yep, no, I'm on my phone and the laptop.
So if you can kind of see.
I'm looking at it.
Yep.
So you're looking at the building right now where the car dealership is.
Yep.
There's a surf shop and there's a doggy shop, a doggy grooming shop.
Correct.
So would that be that whole plaza? Would you be taking over the whole plaza?
Yeah, the plaza itself accounts for a few buildings. Obviously everything is lease and tenant related. The other portion of the lots have other people and are spoken for, so that would kind of continue to get brought up to match the dispensary side with time, obviously as it pertains to where we are allowed to fix the building for the other leases that are involved. But yeah, I mean, the idea is that we'd start here and then we kind of bring the rest of the property to life. Yeah.
Right. So is this including the nail salon or the fish restaurant, or those are two separate buildings?
Yeah, it's inclusive of that. Yep.
But they're all separate buildings. They're not one building.
Correct. Yeah, those. So I guess it's not necessarily. So the topic of this conversation, obviously, is a little bit outside of that corner, but this is mainly focused on the cannabis portion. Candidly, the idea is that because those buildings are part of this property, and we'd be taking over the entire property, as it would be allowed, and as the leases permit, we would continue to bring the other buildings up to kind of a very similar look to the dispensary as we can kind of get there.
Right. So you would be using all three buildings as three separate buildings.
We wouldn't be using them. No. This is just a refurb of the building that you referred to. The other buildings will operate like the fishermen will remain in operation. The nail salon, we may have to do some stuff with that building to prevent or allow for a better in and out of traffic based on some discussions we've had with Chief Clark. And then we'd probably be looking to do something with the mechanic in the back to allow for some better parking.
Understood. Will you be purchasing the whole site?
Yes.
Okay, that's what I wanted. I didn't understand that. I missed that at the beginning.
Yep. No, I'm sorry. Yeah, it's the entire site. So it's I think it's 5 or 6 tenants all included, but
right.
4 buildings, including the repair shop in the back.
That'd be great. It's a dump site as it is.
I think it could use a little love, and that's what we're trying to do.
You're diplomatic. I'm blunt.
I appreciate the question, though.
What's the can you just give me a little time frame of what you're looking to do all this to start it?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, the Cannabis Commission requires certain approvals. The idea, everything equal and things go well, early in the beginning of the year to start construction. Again, this is because this isn't tear down. This is refurb, and I've worked with my construction people quite a bit, and they feel that this isn't a huge uplift, but and there's a lot to work with there. I think that we're looking at probably hopefully trying to get a lot of the construction complete kind of Q1 2022.
Yeah. This is an unrelated question, but are you the owner of the Dunkin' Donuts in Norton, or is they're owned by someone else?
It's owned by someone else. It's a family member of ours, but it's not myself.
I see. Is it possible to get this deck?
Yes, I'm going to share it. Apparently, it wasn't shared on the Google Share. I will make sure that once we get off this, I make sure that it gets posted there.
Great. If I had any questions, is there some number I could reach you at? I did try to reach you today, but I couldn't find any number to reach you at.
What I'll do is I'll post some good contact information on the Google Share as well, so that if there's any further questions moving forward, I can happily answer.
That'd be great.
Sure, appreciate it. I got a chat. Something just popped up in the chat. Affiliate support, thanks so much. I appreciate that. Thank you. It's in regards to giving the buildings a bit of a facelift. Appreciate it. Thank you, Caroline. Any other for me? Renee, anything that you feel I might have left out that would be good to share? I don't mean to put you on the spot, but just want to make sure I cover all the bases.
No, Alex, I think you provided a good overview, and certainly for the questions, you can just make sure your contact information is in the presentation so folks can reach out to you afterwards. I think that'd be great.
Absolutely. Sure, definitely. Get someone else join. I think if there's no more questions, I don't want to keep anyone from the dinner of the family. I think I will look to end the share. All right, I think if that's about it, I will wrap it up and say thank you so much for everyone's time. I look forward to this development and again, being a great corporate citizen for Norton and hopefully doing something that everyone can drive by and smile driving by and say, what a great job. So I appreciate it. Thank you, everyone.